Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Women's Sports Matter podcast. My name is Gianna Castro, and I am your host. Yes, we have another interview on this show. I know you're probably tired of me talking to all these people, and you're just waiting for me to just talk by myself. Well, guess what? I'm not doing that today. I refuse to sit and talk alone in my kitchen because it gets lonely in there. I'm kidding. Today we are doing another interview like I just said, and would you care to introduce yourself, please?
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian. I'm TheSkyShowChi on WNBA Twitter, hashtag WNBA Twitter, a Chicago Sky fan account that just tweets a lot, posts a lot. I have an IG, I have a TikTok for some reason, but I kind of love the WNBA, trying to grow the fan base, both in Chicago and just anywhere in the world, in the planet. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here and just talking WNBA. And I think it's okay to talk in the kitchen by yourself, but yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you, Brian. It is okay to talk in the kitchen by myself.
It's relaxing. I get that.
Well, my sister, she'll look at me funny while I'm recording because I'll have my whole setup, and
right, okay.
It's literally I'm talking to myself. That's what podcasting is basically. If you're the only host, right. I want a co-host. Am I ever gonna get one? Probably not. I don't know if anyone can deal with this wonderful personality right here. So we're of course gonna go to a commercial break because that's what always happens here. If you're new here, guess what? We go to commercial break right after the intro, so you don't have to deal with an ad smack dab in the middle of the episode. I save you from that because also editing in the middle of an episode is kind of funky. I don't feel like doing that, So we're going to hear about today's sponsor, Anchor, which is a podcasting app. Also, that's how I publish all my podcast episodes. Whoop. So we're going to do that really quick, and then we're going to head into the interview, talk about all things WNBA. So this is the Women's Sports Matter podcast. My name is Gianna Castro, and we are going to head to commercial break. Hey everyone, it's Gianna Castro from the Women's Sports Matter podcast, and today I'm going to be discussing the sponsor of this show, Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Wasn't that ad read just lovely? Yeah, it's a beautiful little thing, like 45 seconds, me talking about Anchor, having a wonderful time, but I'm ready to talk about the WNBA. I want to ask you when did you first create this account and why did you create it?
Yeah, sure. I was kind of a Chicago Sky fan, but more of a casual fan. Just like growing up, it was always in the city, but it was actually around May 2017 where I kind of felt there was like something happening with like the WNBA kind of growing. At this point in the Chicago Sky fan base, this is when Elena Delle Donne was traded. And that's like, if you're thinking about it, that's usually a time where you like fans would drop off. Like, This is a superstar, like generational talent. She's leaving the city, the team again. Sylvia Fowles just left like a few years before. So it kind of was like, I felt like there was a time right there that things could really change for the Sky franchise. And it was definitely going to happen just because Elena Delle Donne was leaving. So that's when I kind of, and I'm a big fan of like the WNBA draft, kind of young prospects and seeing them like from the start and as they like kind of develop. So, and that's where I kind of just felt like this is a time. I was tweeting on like my personal account saying about the Chicago Sky, but of course, like it's like not really it wasn't getting like traction, or I had no real community to talk to about because all my followers were just my friends and not as big WNBA fans. So Made the account, May 2017. We're kind of, it's not like the best year for the Chicago Sky, but it's an Allie Quigley, Steph Dolson all-star year. Not a winning record, but there's also a trade to get the first, like another lottery pick. So we had like 2 first-round picks, or 2 lottery picks in 2018, the next year. So that's when I kind of just started thinking I can make, because there's like so many Chicago Bulls fan pages out there too, that it just felt like there like needed to be a Chicago Sky one. It was like pretty like clear and obvious that there needed to be, and this fan base could be growing. Even the Chicago Sky team account, like there's some things that they like can't tweet about, like swears or something, that I felt like, I can tweet swears. So it was all kind of like all those ideas together, and just Twitter being such like a cool social media spot where like things kind of grow from like nothing to something. And that's where I kind of just started, kept tweeting a lot, kept tweeting. And then here we are now. I forget what year it is, but the TheSkyShowChi is out there.
One of my first WNBA games I went to was like when I was in 3rd grade, I think, or maybe 2nd. No, let me think. We used to go for camp. So I'm in the burbs, the beautiful suburbs of Chicago, which, when you hear suburbs of Chicago, you probably think like 20 minutes outside of the city, maybe 30. No, I'm an hour away. So it feels weird saying like suburbs of Chicago.
That's like deep suburbs.
It's like deep
Illinois.
suburbs. That's what people say. And then people make fun of Naperville because that's where I'm from. But like I wasn't born here, like I'm not a true Naper villain, they call them that. I'm from Bolingbrook, which is like 5 minutes from Naperville. But I went to, it was like Bolingbrook summer camp or whatever, the worst thing ever. It's from the Park District. It sucked. But we went to Sky games sometimes. They had like camp day. I remember the game I went to was Sky Mystics. Stephanie Dolson with the blue hair. Della Don was still on the team.
Yeah.
And the Mystics won.
Okay.
I remember that very, very vividly. Like blue-haired Stephanie Dolson dominating, of course. And when she was traded to the Sky, I was confused. I was like, what is this? I don't think I was like such an avid follower as I am today. I was kind of like just casually tuning in sometimes. I wasn't very into women's sports yet. And I was like pissed off. I was like, who is this person coming in and like whatever. And then I've grown to love Stephanie Dolson, of course.
Right.
She's awesome. Right. Everyone on the team is awesome. Do you have a favorite player right now?
I can't disclose just because there's so many good players on the team, and then throughout the league too. I will say that it was probably like Elena Della Don, like at the start of my fandom, and then of course when she gets traded, it doesn't feel as great as a Chicago Sky fan. But I don't know. I really love the whole team. I can't pick favorites right now, but yeah, it's pretty cool how just fandom kind of works, and you could just all of a sudden things change for your team or your franchise that you've been following, and then it just makes you just more intrigued what's going on, and seeing it and then them producing well too is always fun too.
One of the more recent things that has happened within the Chicago Sky is the whole Gabby Williams debacle. That was upsetting for me just to watch on Twitter.
Yeah.
Of course, following what you've been seeing, like following what you've been tweeting. Obviously, that was literally my news source for all of this because it was between you and I think Curtis, like following those 2 different accounts. It was just, I was really confused.
It was confusing just so for like everybody. Yeah, so definitely.
Love Gabby Williams.
Yeah, I mean, like I started my account like right before she was drafted to the Sky. Like I was planning to follow her in Diamond throughout this whole like career there in Chicago. I kind of like pictured it like from the start when they got drafted, like the draft night, that 2018 draft night where they selected both of them. That was like such a momentous occasion for me and like my account. It just felt like things were coming together for this franchise. And yeah, I mean, she did well. Diamond did well, and then I mean, it's business. It's everything, and things happen, and she couldn't fill out her whole rookie contract with the team, but like, of course, like as a Gabby Williams fan, you want like what's best for the player, and like you want her career to keep growing and excelling. Even if it's not on the sky, it's a little sad, but definitely excited for what's coming for Gabby.
Yeah, like again,
Yeah.
I was super upset. It was like,
Yeah. No, totally.
it was just like this whole thing. Like I was excited for her, and then remember when Katie Lou Samuelson got traded? I was really
Yes.
upset about that. Like
Yeah.
I watched her at UConn, her and Gabby Williams. I literally was screaming. I was like, why would they trade her? She's so good. They need to use her more. But again, like I'm not there in the front office.
Yeah.
I don't know like team dynamics and team chemistry.
Yeah.
But it's just, as a fan, it's upsetting when
Yeah.
you see a player that you like to trade away. And maybe it's because I'm a UConn fan. I care too much about UConn players.
No, it's totally fair. It's totally valid. They did such great stuff
Yeah.
in college, and just with that system and with that college and everything, and just their players as they are and winning so much. And yeah, it's tough. And actually, yeah, I think Katie Lou was like traded during the NBA All-Star game, or like All-Star weekend. And I think the day before she was traded, she was at like Garrett's Popcorn doing like a fan like meet and greet with like Steph Dolson too. And I was about to go to it, but then it was like snowing a lot outside or something, or it was like too cold. So I didn't go. And then the next day she was traded. And it's been my regret ever since for not seeing her. Like her last day as a Chicago Sky in Garrett's Popcorn downtown and not being there. And it's been terrible. But yeah, again, her career is kind of just, it seems to be flourishing better outside of the Sky. So
Yeah, she's
as a fan
doing
of the
well
player,
there
yeah, for
in
sure.
Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're number one in the league right now for a reason. So, and she's a part of that too. So it's
Definitely
crazy. It's
gonna.
crazy being a Chicago Sky fan.
She's gonna get a ring there. I can feel it. Maybe not this year because we all know what's gonna happen this year. Well, hopefully, Let's talk about injuries for a second. How many games? How many was it losing streak? Was it like 4 or 5 or more than that?
I think it got to 7 at some point.
7?
Yeah,
That is horrendous.
It's I think a lot of the players are saying like it's hard, like once you're in that streak, it's hard just to get out of it. Like the hardest part is getting out of it, especially like when there's a game winner like the Kia Nurse shot at the end. Those are definitely the ones that like kill any momentum you think you have, and that's why you kind of keep going in that streak. But yeah, it was tough, definitely as a Sky fan. You could see all over WNBA Twitter kind of like people doubting Chicago and putting them ranked like 11th in power rankings or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like one of the things where you kind of just have to wait like most Chicago fans have to do, just wait until we know the good thing is going to come. And it definitely came. We're in it now.
Yeah, when everyone is not injured, well, yeah, it's fine,
Yeah. Yeah, it's what we, again, like a lot of people saying, it's all what we've been expecting, and it's been very, very cool to see.
I want to talk about I guess it's a documentary, right? And what was it called? 144. Did you get to watch that? I haven't had the chance yet, but I've seen tweets about it, commercials. The night that it came out, I was at work, so I didn't get to see it. Yeah. But did you watch it, and can you tell us a little bit about it and like expansion and stuff like that?
Yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. I think produced by Shanae Agumake for ESPN. It looked really cool. It was like really like well shot and well made. Like the filter on it was really nice too. But the most important thing about it was like just the story of the WNBA players going to Florida to the Wubble, #Wubble, and kind of just going through that whole process, because it was, I mean, like we definitely don't think about it as much now, but it was a lot. It was definitely a lot then at the time. if they should even do this. So much happening, just with, I mean, obviously the pandemic, and then just the racial inequality out there, just out in the world and in the U.S. and in the globe. I kind of just touched on all those topics. Definitely got real. You got to see inside just all those huddles that the whole league had, and just the conversations they were having. Breonna Taylor's mom actually has like appearance in it too. It's just such a fascinating story, and just more perspective on kind of what was going on in the mindsets of these players, this like community, this whole league, and kind of what it stands for. I mean, I definitely highly recommend it. I think it's on ESPN. Definitely worth a check out. You get like the lighter moments too, like I think the Chicago Sky were there like burning toast or like burning their food or something. That was like a highlight for me personally. But it's just a really enjoyable watch. And I mean, most people watching it are like fans of the WNBA, and you kind of become bigger fans like after watching it. So it was good.
I didn't watch like every single game that was televised for when they were in the Wubble. I watched the very first game, and I watched the championship game. TV, and when it comes to in terms of like what's going to be on TV and what's going to be on social media and League Pass and everything like that. Do you have League Pass first of all?
Yeah.
Does it work for you? Because I see people complaining all the time about that stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I want to spend money on that if there's like issues.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of the issues come in when it's live, when you're trying to watch it live. For some reason, something with like it logs you out and then you need to just sign in again. Would recommend having kind of an easier password. Well, you probably shouldn't say that, but like an easier League Pass password, just because you're going to be typing in multiple times sometimes. But I mean, after the live broadcast, it works really well. It's just like rewatching it. I mean, you just get all the games after they're broadcast live, which is always like kind of cool. Even right now, I was kind of rewatching the Sky Sun game, and yeah, it's good. I think it's good. It's like the price is like $16.99, which is like for the whole year, and I think it's a good price. And then there's just like live broadcast games are kind of elsewhere with all the deals that the WNBA has made. So I think just as a fan, you kind of like want to rewatch these games, and they're all kind of on League Pass, and that's always been pretty cool. I think that was a good answer to League Pass, but I think it's definitely well worth it as a fan of the W.
I'm thinking of getting it when I go to school, because TVs aren't like there for you in your dorms. Probably gonna like watch it on my computer or whatever.
Yeah, computer, phone is kind of definitely easy to bring along with you anywhere. League Pass is, so even on like the desktop, you could watch like multiple games at a time, which has always been pretty cool too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a picture-in-picture or like side-by-side. I think people were showing that like yesterday with like 4 games or 5 games going on. You can just see like everything, just 2 things happening at once, kind of split your eyeballs in half or something. But yeah, there's like definitely some great functionality to it, and there's other parts where it could be improved too. But I think it's doing all right now.
So with the Chicago Sky, I know they usually get like when they're not on national TV, they're on the U, right?
Yeah.
I hate that channel so much. I just want to say that really quick. Like, I hate when they're on there, and I don't like the announcers either. Or at least back in the day, a few years ago, like the announcers are bad. I'm sorry. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I'm not a fan. I'm very particular about my announcers because I grew up watching White Sox baseball with Hawk Harrelson and Steve Stone, and so I gotta match that, or I'm muting the TV.
Okay.
I know that with different teams, different there's different people coming in to announce the games, like LaChana Robinson. Renee Montgomery is sometimes doing stuff. Oh, I want to talk about her. She's so awesome, right? Just like, everything that she's done in Atlanta and what's happening in Atlanta, like, that's so cool. And I really need to make an episode about that, because, like, literally culture change kind of in Atlanta, going against their own owner while in the Wubble. That whole thing was pretty cool to see in real time, on Twitter, on the news, like, them being interviewed on CNN, them like showing up, telling people to vote for her opponent. Like, you usually don't see that kind of stuff happening for a full team. I know the Seattle Storm endorsed Biden and Harris. Right. They literally made a post on Instagram, which is something you never, ever see. Do you kind of want to talk about politics and sports for a little bit? Because that's something I dabble in sometimes.
Yeah. I don't dabble in as much in like the politics side of things, but no, I definitely understand that, like, things are changing in the world, and it's good to see the league and these teams are understanding the change that needs to happen. And it was also kind of brought up in the 144 documentary as well, kind of just the Vote Warnock t-shirts and how that was all kind of put together. Like Elizabeth Williams definitely like leading a charge or bringing up that idea, and it like resonating throughout the whole league. It's kind of just, it shows that like the WNBA's brand and what they kind of believe in and what they want others to believe in. And it just pushes us to like it just pushes us, I think, and I think most of the fans see, like, to a better future. And that's kind of what we all kind of want for everybody.
And then when multiple sports leagues shut down for that day, then we had the Mystics, I believe, wearing those t-shirts, the white t-shirts on them.
White t-shirts, I think like 7 bullet holes after the death of Jacob Blake. I mean, that was such a powerful moment. In the world easily, and the WNBA kind of just having to go through it, and again, like, also it showed in the doc, them having the vigil that night, and all the discussions that happened with that. That was one of, like, definitely the most moving parts of that documentary too, was the discussion they all had. Courtney Williams, like, voiced their opinions, Suber, like Alicia Clark, everybody kind of just it's such a thing to, like, talk through and have, like, good understanding from everybody. And it was I don't know the words to describe it, but it was something, and it was, in the end, it was like something good and like better for the future.
One of my favorite things about athletes in general is their ability to be a human too. Like, they're not just an athlete. They're not just like an entertainer for us. They're also a human being, and they have feelings. So, like, when that thing with LeBron, like, shut up and dribble kind of thing happened, or the thing with Colin Kaepernick, and even Drew Brees with his comments. I don't know if you remember about that.
One way then the other way. Having the Brees,
the double standards and whatever. It's just like, I love seeing players speak out about things, because we're all human and we all have opinions. Some people may have better opinions than others, but especially with everything that's happened in this past year. And even if we go back to the World Cup in 2019 with Megan Rapinoe making her beautiful comments about the farmer orange, and just, they're not here for our entertainment. They're here to do what they love, and also, talk about whatever they want to talk about. And I love that side of sports. And I wish other people would see that they're not robots, they're
Yeah.
people and they have feelings, they have opinions, and they just want to be there, do their job, do what they love, and things like that. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
frustrating to see people make their comments.
Yeah. Yeah. It's as like someone on like always on social media. It's definitely something that you kind of always see. I think the tagline's always just don't read the comments because there's some really annoying people out there saying whatever just because they can and they have the fingers or they want to type stuff, but it's all kind of just noise and it doesn't really benefit anybody really. So I think just more and more people are learning that you don't be that because that's dumb to be like that, like a big comment, annoying troll or something. So, but yeah, I mean, these are players and they want to use their platforms and speak their mind, and that's always important. Just anybody in general, just to speak your mind, be open to listening, open to hearing, and saying like what the experiences you're going through yourself to out there, just to again, just making the world and everyone just living in a better place.
I want to talk about expansion because it's
Yeah,
always a beautiful topic
yeah,
within the WNBA.
yeah, it's always like something that's definitely there's you can't really see too many negatives to it, only like a lot more positives than negatives if the league goes that route.
Yeah, the NWSL is doing a lot better versus WNBA in terms of expansion.
Yeah.
We've had there's been Angel City, which is gonna pop up in Los Angeles next season. Louisville this season. Uh, let's see, and they're adding a team in San Diego, so that's 3. I forgot when the last expansion team was outside of Louisville. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been adding. It seems like they're going to be adding teams every year. It's a growing league. I don't know how they're doing in terms of numbers versus the WNBA, but
Yeah.
when was the last time the WNBA had an expansion team?
I mean, it's mostly been relocation teams, if
Yeah.
anything, and that would be like the San Antonio Stars to the Las Vegas Aces. Also, like around the time when I started the Twitter account, and I think that's when like WNBA Twitter definitely started popping. Yeah, and it's yeah. I don't know the numbers also, but yeah, I think it's the numbers and like kind of the investors that are kind of I think the holdup for any expansion because obviously the talent's out there. There's so many young players and so many vets even that would be able to play in a team of 12. But it's just kind of making the right move. I think there was expansion. Like I think the last one was probably when the Sky kind of came in like 2006 or something. But yeah, definitely the WNBA has been careful not to kind of mess up what could be what I think we all kind of see as like a good path.
Yeah. I'm hoping for Canada next. Like Canada
Same here.
needs a team. I don't care if it's in Toronto, Vancouver, like whatever. Like they need a team, and they need it now.
Yeah, I mean the fan base is so rabid. I think just the Toronto Raptors you kind of saw that how these fans in Canada have just been waiting and wanting to support like a pro basketball team. There definitely been talks and stuff and things, but yeah, I mean, I think I kind of do trust like Kathy Engelbert and just the league front office and kind of making the move when it's ready. It seems like they probably have prepared. They probably have talked to people, but I think it's just kind of making sure everything's settled with the 12 teams because I think that's a point that like kind of gets glossed over is like the how the 12 current teams are kind of doing health wise in terms of like their numbers or their financials or how many fans are coming out, how many season ticket holders they have. Because yeah, even in like Chicago, you kind of wonder like I wonder how many people are season ticket holders. How many people are like coming out for these games? There are some like seats a little bit like slightly open, and like here and there. So yeah, it's. I think it's. I think it's the move's gonna happen, and I think the planning for it will be done, and it's gonna happen at some point. It has to.
I'm trying to look up when the last expansion team was because I
Yeah.
want to know. Also with like the NWSL, people want a team in Toronto. They feel like it's long overdue. So Toronto's really like, they need teams. I know they got plenty of hockey teams over there, and soccer. The MLS team is there. They have the NBA team. They have a baseball team. They got a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of real estate there. Canada's big.
Just we can add another few teams. No one's gonna know. So they had the Toronto Six added this year in the NWHL, which was a lot of fun to try and navigate that stuff because I'm not a hockey fan at all, but also like supporting women's sports at the same time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of hockey games in the winter time. It was so weird because like I don't know who any of these players' names are. Don't know what positions they play, but I'm still going to make a podcast episode about it because people are listening, and I don't want to just talk about soccer and basketball. If I'm going to talk about women's sports, might as well talk about all of them. And it's hard to make a show when you only know about two sports, but you also want to talk about all these other different things. Like I just interviewed a boxer the other day. I don't know anything about boxing. Personally, I don't like boxing. A
lot of blood.
Yeah. Okay. So you were right. It was the Chicago.
Nice. All
team,
right.
February 2006.
Hashtag Chicago Sky history. All right.
Yes.
yeah. It's been a while. It's all been. I think they've been just careful like making the next expansion move. But yeah, it's a long time coming. How many teams are there in the W or NWSL now then? After the expansion?
Oh, you're quizzing me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, just to quiz you. Randomly.
Hold on.
Yeah, we also have Google out there.
There's OL. There's Kansas City. There's Chicago. There's Louisville, Houston. Orlando. Okay, let me think about this. Oh my god, my cousin's gonna kill me because I tell her like we both like soccer so much, and I text her about the NWSL all the time. Oh, there's New York, New Jersey, because that's a fun little thing that they have going on there. It's New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC, and they play where the New York Red Bulls play, and which is in New Jersey. It's a fun little thing because they're paying homage to New York and New Jersey because they played in both states. And I'm like, I don't even know how they got Gotham FC as a name. Oh my god, I just lost count. Portland, OL, Kansas City, Chicago, Houston, Louisville, Orlando.
Because they had the tournament too.
New York.
I feel bad. I just did that meme where it says like name 5. Soccer. Name 5 teams or something. I feel bad. I'm like the meme.
I've named more than 5. I'm blanking. I don't know why.
Let me go. I got this.
Well, there's Angel City too. I'm gonna add that in San Diego, and that's 10. But I'm missing a team. Where in the world is this other team at? I'm gonna cry. I don't know all of them. Hold on. I can't believe that this happened.
1, 2.
North Carolina, Washington Spirit. Okay, I missed 2.
10. All right. Oh, I don't know.
I missed 2. And then I added on the 2 other expansion teams. Okay. Orlando, Portland, Washington, Gotham, Houston, Chicago, North Carolina, OL, which is basically Seattle. Louisville, Kansas City, and then adding Angel City, which is Los Angeles, and then San Diego.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did that to
me. There it is. I'm sorry. I'm the meme. I meme too much. But yeah, okay. So because I was just genuinely curious. But have we figured that out? Yeah, but yeah, I mean, everyone wants expansion, like in any of these leagues and all of women's sports, just to keep it growing, and like making these teams now are going to make more fans and more young people kind of just intrigued about these teams, and they kind of grow up playing that sport then, and then that kind of just fuels more like talent out there. It makes sense to expand. And the money's probably out there too. It just has to.
It definitely is like. With Angel City, all of their investors are like former U.S. Women's National Team members, Serena Williams, like
Candace
a bunch
Parker,
of YouTubers.
Chicago
Sky.
Sky.
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker and her daughter, Layla Parker, too.
Just so many, like, millionaires and people.
There's money out there. There's a lot of rich people out there. They gotta invest. They'll know. They'll know soon, so we'll see. And then by then, both of our platforms are going to be just even more powerful and gaining more fans and stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of just, this is how it all starts. This is where it starts, and then it just builds from here.
Speaking of platform, I looked at a list of who's following you. I just want to read off some some of these groups / people or teams / people. If
oh yeah, this is kind of fun.
The W Slam follows you.
Yeah, shout out to Camille. She's cool.
Wintrust Arena follows you.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the Sky play there, so like, and I tweeted asking them about like K-pop concerts that were happening. So there's a mutual communication there.
Chicago Sky head coach James Wade follows you.
That one gets kind of awkward, especially if I have like something to say about like Wade's coaching or something. It gets kind of like, I wonder if he sees this. I wonder if he's mad at me.
Has he ever tweeted at you?
Yeah, I mean a few. I mean, just like when I have like funny stuff to say. I mean, there's that one moment when I was questioning who was taller between Azrae Stevens and Steph Dolson.
I remember
and then
this.
The coach had like he takes a picture, he sends it or he messages it, or he puts me in the tweet and says like, "Does this solve your answer or your question, Sky Show?" And it kind of didn't. Also,
I remember that.
They looked like about the same height. Like it was kind of still hard to tell. But that was cool.
When I was looking at those tweets, I was like sitting there laughing because I was like, I don't know why this matters so much.
It matters, kind of, and I'm glad there's that journey. It matters because the journey to get there mattered, and I don't know. I'm too much.
Gabby Williams follows you. How's that? Especially when you were doing all those tweets about her little situation.
Yeah, definitely a lot of crying emojis. I found all my crying pain emoji or memes all together. Yeah, that was weird. Just supporting the player and the team, trying to balance between those two, and in the end, I think they're both gonna succeed. So that's a win for Sky Show.
Ari Chambers follows you too.
Yeah, energy.
Yeah, energy. Got the Fever and the Sky following you. That must be fun.
Yeah, I don't understand why the Fever follow me, actually. I don't know what I'm kind of doing there, but I think they know I'm producing good content, so they're just watching, I guess, or yeah. And then the Sky, yeah.
Sarah Spain.
Yeah, that was kind of actually more recent. That was kind of cool. I mean, I just want to gain all like as many Chicago Sky fans kind of just. Actually, I don't want them like following me, but I just want them like engaged with the team, and it was cool. I mean, she's an investor also in the Red Stars, but also of course following the Chicago Sky since easily being like one of the closest like EDD like confidants too. So yeah, I mean, whatever she tweets and posts, like she's such a important part of like Twitter sports in general. And that was kind of cool. So Shout out Sarah.
Love Sarah Spain. Love her work, of course.
Definitely.
Do you watch? Oh my God, what's that show called? It's Around the Horn. Love that show.
Yes.
Such a
Well, I
fun
definitely watched
time.
it more earlier, like before when I had cable, but I definitely watch all those clips and the ones that come through, and I think they all had like a all female panel recently too, and that was cool. I mean, it's good conversation.
I don't watch ESPN as much as I used to, just because like I hate the coverage that ESPN is doing. It's all about like LeBron James and his broken finger or whatever, and then like NFL stuff. Like I can't anymore. It's just it's gotten to the point where I will go on Twitter for my sports news, and I will not like give ESPN my one singular view kind of thing. It's like, I'm waiting for you to give the WNBA and NWSL and like women's college sports more time coverage. Just because like they deserve it, and who cares that LeBron hurt his pinky or whatever? Like, I don't give a shit kind of thing. It's go ahead.
It's like there's so many sports out there. Like there's so many leagues. Like ESPN, and ESPN focuses on like obviously the ones that are going to get like a lot of views and stuff. So it's obvious that there's not enough space in ESPN. Although there probably is, but there's not enough for space in ESPN. And I think that's where like another media like company or like station is like, there's a clear like need for like other sports, and there's so much coverage that can happen for them. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like another, like maybe like a Just Women's Sports, or one of these companies is going to come up, obviously like understanding that like some of these leagues need more focus, and we could like put the money together to focus on them. Like it's I think it's kind of obvious that that's going to happen at some point, because the leagues are all there. There's so many fans. There's like growing fan bases in all those like the women's sports leagues. It's I think it's clear it's going to happen at some point, and I'm excited to see that whenever it comes up.
Yeah, I've been getting more into like Just Women's Sports and Together. Love those two companies.
Yeah, definitely. And they have like the right investors. They have like Elena Del Don, Enrique is on there, Sue Bird for Together, and like Chloe Kim. Like these are the right people to kind of group together, and it's something that is going to be growing, and I kind of can't wait to see the future for both of those.
Like, hopefully one day I get to work for one of those groups, because
for sure
I love their content. Like, I got to get through school first. I'm gonna get that degree.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like keep developing your talent, keep developing like what you feel like you're good at and everything. Yeah, I mean, it is just even just like putting this stuff together. That's definitely talent. To do that, and so it's just like developing yourself, and just like even just reaching out whenever you can, whenever you have the time. I think you could probably DM, but like even like cold calling or just reaching out to those publications, I think it's like it would be good just to get yourself out there, and kind of, if you want to go in the space, kind of that's where you start. That's as far as my opinion as a person that just made an account that was kind of stupid, and then you just followers keep happening, and this is not even my job or anything, but I think it's just reaching out there, and I think this is again a growing space.
Yeah, I started this podcast a year ago. Celebrated a year in May, beginning of May, and I started it because I was bored during the pandemic.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Didn't want to watch Netflix all day.
No.
Didn't want to like sit in my room all day and do nothing, because or play FIFA, because I love FIFA. Refuse to play 2K because the game is so slow.
Okay, I get that.
But I made the podcast. Well, first I don't know if people know this or not, but I actually made a podcast about like mental health stuff. And then I was like, I don't know if I can make a bunch of episodes about this. I feel like it would just be the same stuff after a while. So then I was like, I have an idea. why don't I just make it about women's sports? Because there's stuff happening all the time.
Yeah.
And I love women's sports. And I made a Twitter like a few months into the podcast. I made an Instagram for it. And then like the show took off. I've had a good amount of guests on, former interim head coach for Florida State women's basketball. She's the assistant coach there. She had to step in because the head coach had to go and take care of her mother during the pandemic, and during like that season, last season. College basketball was fun during that time, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've had a few people with the Chicago Red Stars. Zoe Gorowski went to my high school, so I got to talk to her. And then Scott Parkinson. Love him and his accent. Like, love his accent so much. Who else? I had the boxer on recently. I've talked to people about like climate change and politics. Because I'd love to dabble into that stuff too. I always say like it's not just a podcast about women's sports. It's like a podcast about women's sports plus more, but it is the Women's Sports Matter podcast, of course, because that's what I talk about the most. So yeah, I get bored and I make a podcast, and then I get like, I'm very close to 100 followers, kind of. I'm like at like 50 more or whatever for both socials. So I'm working on getting there, you know.
Yeah.
I got ranked for like top WNBA podcasts to follow, number 14 from FeedSpot. I don't know if that means anything for anyone.
Okay,
but,
cool. As long as it means something to you, that's what
it
matters.
means something to me a little bit. I don't know, like if that's like a good ranking or not. I don't know how my podcast ranks like in general for women's sports. I can't really see any of that. Like I don't know how to get to that. If there's a thing I could look at. I don't even listen to podcasts either. I feel like such a fake. I make a podcast, but I don't listen to other ones. Like I want to listen to just women's sports podcasts. I'm sure those are pretty cool, but I literally like don't have the time.
Yeah.
And I barely have enough time to do this. Well, I mean, I woke up early to do this. Usually I'd be waking up now because summertime.
For sure. Yeah, but as long as whatever you make makes you happy, I think that's the most important.
Yeah, I'm happy. I love that I'm doing this. It's so much fun. I keep begging my one friend to come on the show. He's really shy, and I want him to talk about the stock market because he's super into the stock market.
Okay,
and I have no idea about anything. And we FaceTime every day. He's in Canada for school right now. And so he'll be like, the stock market did so well today. And I'm like, who cares? Like, what is that supposed to mean to me? And I keep begging him, like, come on my show. Like, no one's going to see you. Like, it's on just the podcast platform. I don't post on YouTube anymore because I hate dealing with that. It's so annoying to like upload it and everything. I'm lazy. This is like not even production stuff that I'm doing here. Like I have this microphone that I plug into my computer. I'm not even sure if it works. It's just here. I don't know. I have these headphones. I use Anchor. I don't have like sound effects. I want sound effects, but I don't know how to work that and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is low production based stuff. Like it's nothing. Literally, I'm probably just using the microphone off my computer and not this thing. I don't know how to set it up. It's whatever, but I love doing this stuff. It's so much fun. And my actual job is fun too. So I have a blast either way.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Can I ask what you do for a living, if that's okay to share here?
I was a business major and I do just business stuff, business things. Yeah. So I'm actually an accountant. So usually on the computer a lot. But yeah, it's something where that's like the day, and then most times I'm kind of just loving women's sports and tweeting about the WNBA.
You're like Clark Kent, when you take
Yeah.
the glasses off.
I mean, I'm not
your
calling
women's
my
sports.
account Superman or anything, but that's exactly
That's exactly what's happening here. Do people at your work know about your account?
No, I mean, even on my accounts, I kind of just keep it like not as much about me. It's more about just the league, the players, and everything. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess I tweet just thoughts and stuff, but I mean, I'm definitely here to kind of support. I don't want my just me overshadowing like just promoting these players and their merch or anything or like the stuff they're doing. So, yeah, it's just it's kind of I want to kind of be in the background, but I want to promote these players in this league.
Speaking of merch, I think recently you got a cool little box, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Just Nike just sent over something. I thought it was actually a return that they sent back to me that I was gonna have to like dispute or something, but then it was just a bunch of WNBA stuff, Chicago Sky stuff, like the team exclusive stuff, which was kind of like crazy. And they actually knew my sizes somehow, which I still like currently don't understand how that happened. But yeah, it was like all addressed to TheSkyShowChi, and now I'm just going to wear them all and go onto the court and just try to shoot jumpers while they're practicing. No, actually, I won't do that. But
they're gonna be like, "Who are you?" And you're gonna be like, "You don't know who I am."
I'm just gonna point at the merch and be like, "Look, team exclusive." Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. Shout out to Nike Basketball for just seeing that I tweet too much and feel the need to send me things because I appreciate it.
That is really, really cool. I would love some merch myself, but again, my mom thinks I wear like too much sports related stuff. Like almost every day I wear something related to sports. Like I have jerseys and shirts, even like pants, with the logos on it or whatever. It's like I don't know how to dress. I don't know what my own identity is because I wear all this sports merch. It's crazy. Like, don't send me. Nike, don't do it. Don't send me anything, But if you do, it's okay. Like, it's fine. You don't have to. It's just a little suggestion.
Yeah.
One more quick question, and then we're gonna end things. Rookie of the Year, MVP, team to win it all, and most improved player.
Okay. All answers are Chicago Sky.
Go ahead.
I'll be closer to what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
I think I'm going to mispronounce Michaela's name, so I'm just going to call her Michaela. On the New York Liberty, she's obviously getting the minutes. She's obviously producing in them. The team has done well the first few games, and I mean, they're struggling a little bit right now, but I think it's clear she's going to be Rookie of the Year. MVP, I'm pretty sure Jonquel Jones is going to come back, even with not as many games because of this Eurobasket like delay, but I think she's going to do enough and probably bring the Sun to maybe a top 2 seed that like I think she'll get MVP. If they get like the 1 seed, I think that'll definitely put her over the edge. But I think somewhere between Jonquel Jones and Breanna Stewart, one of them is going to just show how much they do for their teams. But actually, you in Seattle, I'm going to stick with Jonquel Jones as like the MVP in my head. Most improved player. I don't know. That one's kind of tough. I feel like that's always kind of weird. I'm just going to say Chicago Sky player then. I'll just say Kalea Copper is going to get it because she should have got it last year.
Exactly.
And then Chicago Sky to win it all. I think that
against who though?
I think it's going to be Aces. I think it's Sky Aces and then we're going to see like it all kind of happening. This is such a good narrative. Like the league knows it. Everybody knows it. I definitely props to Storm and Sun for doing good, but it's going to be like Sky Aces because it has to be. And it's going to be Sky on top. It has to be. Just ever since that shot, that heave,
I was gonna say,
it has to
like,
be.
it when you said it, the Aces and Sky, it was replaying in my head that awful shot. I watched that game with my mom. We sat on the couch and we watched it together. What year was that? Was that
2019?
We went and saw in the beginning of the season, we went and saw the Aces and Sky. It was like the day before I went to school. So I got to see that, and then the social media exchange afterwards with that game.
Yeah, things got feisty.
Yeah, I saw that game live. Very grateful for that one. But my mom and I watched that game together on the couch, and I got up the last few seconds. I was ready to celebrate the win.
Oh God! Oh no!
And then it happened, and I was devastated. I fell to the floor, and it's kind of like one of those things, like, where were you when this happened?
Exactly, yeah.
Where were you when this happened?
I was in where was I? I was in like an Asian restaurant or something, or I was eating ramen or pork don or something. I was watching it on my phone, and it was the most miserable thing. There's like a lot of people around me eating like pork bowls, and I just could not even. It was, I wasn't even like watching. I wasn't even at the TV or anything. I was just out, and it was bad. It ruined my week. I went off of the social media for, like, I didn't post on that Sky Show account for like a while after that too. I was not happy about what happened, and I mean, I think it's clear the narrative doesn't end with that shot or just the games in 2020. I think there's a clear narrative, and it's going to end in 2021 in the finals. Aces Sky, then Sky going on top. Oh, it's so perfect. It's so perfect.
I was literally screaming when it happened. I walked around. I was like pacing. I was like, I wanted to scream like, what the F, but my mom was there, so I can't do that. No.
I think it would have been warranted for that time. That was insane.
I was like, but she stepped out of bounds. Like, I'm so sure that she stepped out of bounds and everything, and that shot shouldn't have counted, because it looked like she did. I don't know if she actually did. I can't remember.
Yeah. I need footage. I need the tape of every phone in the building. I need every phone in the building or something. I don't know.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. The story, I'm telling you though, the story's not over. The story's not over. This is where it ends.
This is where it ends.
Or next year, or the next year, but the story's not over.
20-something Sky are champions of the WNBA. Finally.
It's gonna happen. It's
gonna happen. But guess what's happening now? We gotta end the show. I don't want to take up too much time in your day. I'm not doing anything today, but I'm probably gonna edit this, because I actually do care about my podcast, and I have to edit it and make sure that it sounds decent. Okay, so we're gonna end it here, but first, where can people follow you on social media?
So it's oh my God, what is it? Okay, it's
I see it up here on the top. You don't know what your own handle is?
Okay, it's at TheSkyShowChi. It's hard to say, but it's easy to type. No, I think they can figure it out.
No?
If you could put you could just tag it somewhere, but it's TheSkyShowChi, as in like shy.
It'll
like Chicago.
be in the description.
There you go. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Locker Room app or Spotify, something that it's called now. But yeah, just follow me for your Chicago Sky updates, news, memes, all the good stuff. It's fun, and I really appreciate you having me and talking through just women's sports and everything.
I love doing it. I love having people on the show who feel the same way. It's always a fun time here, obviously.
For sure.
I tell my mom, it's like I'm talking to these adults. Like, I'm technically an adult, anyway, but I'm talking to these people that are like significantly older than me, and it's kind of weird, but it's also like really cool because it makes me feel a lot older than I am, and it feels like I'm already out of school and like this is my job, but it's not my job, and I'm just an 18-year-old sitting in my house interviewing random people for my random podcast.
And just to let you know, I think the adults out there aren't that as mature too. So I think we're all just trying to figure out our maturity levels.
Yes.
But yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. On Twitter, you can follow me at WSM Podcast. And on Instagram, you can follow me at Women's Sports Matter. I don't have YouTube anymore. Well, it's still up there, but I don't post on there anymore because I'm like lazy. I'm lazy, everyone. Really, really lazy. I don't get paid enough to do this. Of course, we're still in a pandemic, and you're going to hear my whole spiel. I do this all the time at the end of my episodes. Link down below is a website for people in America where you can type in your zip code and find a vaccination site 5 miles away from your house. That's right, just 5 miles away. Or maybe more than that. I don't know if you live on like a farm or something. That might be quite the drive for you. But hey, it's worth it to get vaccinated. And I really don't want to hear any anti-vaxxers in the Twitter or Instagram comments. So don't even with me because I got Pfizer and I'm proud of it. Pfizer, I'm proud. Did you get vaccinated yet?
Yeah, Pfizer gang.
Pfizer gang. I tell people that get Pfizer that we're Pfizer pals.
Okay. Oh, I like that more. Pfizer pals.
Or have you seen like the memes where it's like where people get the people that got Moderna are like viewed as like little or whatever, or people that got Pfizer are judging people that got Moderna.
Yeah.
You know, Pfizer is like 96%. Versus like Moderna's a little bit less than that, like 93 or something, in terms of combating COVID. A lot of people in my family got Pfizer, but some people, my grandma got Moderna. My sister got Pfizer because Moderna wasn't cleared yet for children. She's 15, so she got Pfizer. But yeah, link down below to find a vaccination site. Because it's important that you keep up your well-being and the people around you. And speaking of which, if you refuse to get vaccinated, please still wear your mask. It's important that you keep yourself and others safe. You don't want to be that one person that gets COVID now. It's been a year and a half basically with COVID. I don't know. I've lost count. But if you get COVID this late in the game, you look like a loser. So wear a mask, wash your hands, and social distance when you can to keep people around you safe. Also, we got primaries coming up and like elections and stuff. So if you want to register to vote, oh my God, I have the perfect link for you. It's down below in the description. You can register to vote. It only takes a few minutes. It's not that hard. But go and vote. I don't think I got anything else to promote. Watch the WNBA, watch the NWSL. Buy League Pass. I'm not going to link that, but you can find it yourself because Google is free. My time is not. And speaking of my time, this time of us being together has come to an end. Of course, this is the Women's Sports Matter podcast. My name is Gianna Castro. Thank you all so much for listening. Please go follow Brian on all his social media accounts that he's listed. I'll link them down below. Again, thank you so much for coming on this show. We're going to end things here. Any last words?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's it. Thank you.
I couldn't think of a good one. Look for a good meme. I have memes. Send me memes.
The meme lord is saying bye, and so am I. Thank you for listening. This is the end of the show. Why are you still here? Thank you for listening. Again, why are you still here? The show's ended, guys. You can go home. Go away. I'm seriously gonna end it now. Thanks for
All right.
listening. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.